the very first Pokefair debut of 2023. Also, the very first Rock Zone setter. Aside from those, how good is Sygna Diantha and Diancie? In this video, let's quickly talk about that. So with that said, strap on your seatbelts, sit tight, let's begin this scout or skip video. Here we go! Yo, this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, Yardis Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX, where we discuss Sygna Diantha and Diancie. The very first rock, well, the second, if I'm not mistaken, the second 6-star EXable rock-type tech sync pair. And after her, we got Kukui, who can be 6-star EX in Pokemon Masters Day. So, how good is she? Well, before we get to that, guys, I want to give a huge shout out, as usual, to all the members of my channel, especially my 2-year member supporters, Shadowfill and Alcin. And thank you to all the other members as well for supporting me all throughout these past 2 years. Thank you very much for your support. If you want to join them, guys, you can hit the join button down below and become a member of my channel for as low as $1 USD in a month. But, you know, you can help out even without financial support by right now, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't. You know, those things are essential for the YouTube algorithm. And also, right now, go to the comment section, type it out, not the live chat, the comment section, and tell me if you are interested in scouting for the very first Rock Zone setter of the game. But with that, this is the timeline of events. I need to remind you guys this one very often because a lot of people have been asking me this all throughout. So we got available units right now. We got New Year Dawn and New Year LISIA. They have been available from the start of the year until January 17. They're seasonal units, meaning if you have 20,200 paid gems, you are guaranteed 1 copy and 1 additional 5-star unit from the Great Ticket Scout as well as the Master Ticket Scout of the tiered route. Meanwhile, you got Shauna happening on January 16. That's my birthday, and I'm still waiting for presents. Ends on February 5. Seasonal, or rather Spotlight Scout, meaning if you have 7,500 paid gems, you're guaranteed 1 copy as well as 20 out of 20. You instantly get enough custom power-ups to make her 20 out of 20. That means if you have spare, if you have 50 champion spirits, you can instantly make her 6-star EX. But if you do not have paid gems, you can do 3 multi-pulls and get 3 support move candy coins on her regular banner. Meanwhile, LISIA and Dawn, by going to their regular banner, doing 3 multi-pulls, you can get 3 tech move candy coins as well as 3 strike move candy coins. Those are the presents. Meanwhile, Diantha, Pokefair does not give us any presents, but then it gives us a 10% chance of randomly scouting for 5-star unit. The others just give us 7%. And a 2% chance of getting 2% chance of getting her. Everyone else also 2%. So, good luck if you're scouting for her. And best wishes, because she's a Pokefair, and as you might know, Pokefair nowadays have a 5 out of 5 grid. If you want to maximize her, you need 5 copies, but again, that is completely optional. Most of the units max out at 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5, you get the maximum multipliers. Most of them have been like that so far, guys, until who knows when. But now let's get to discussing. But if you want an in-depth, or rather, if you want a little discussion on each one of them, you can check out my January 2023 Sync Pairs Who to Scout for video, where I discuss each one in brief. But now let's get to discussing. So, if you see this background image, congratulations, you have successfully scouted for Sygna, Diantha, and Diancie. And this sync pair, I can say that she is, well, the easiest way to describe her would be she is Thunderbolt Red with Summer Marnie trainer move. Something like that. Thunderbolt Red and Summer Marnie hybrid. And what I can say, how do I say this? Because she has Rock Wish. Again, she is the very first Rock Zone setter in the game. So Rock Wish, once you use Rock Wish, her buddy move will be unlocked. And what this buddy move does, B Diamond Storm, is that it hits everyone just like Thunderbolt Red. The difference is that once you use B Diamond Storm, everyone in your team gets their defense raised +2. Every opponent's defense -2. Awesome. So you get to raise everyone's defense +2, you get to lower everyone else's defense -2. And aside from that, you got a passive skill, Honing Hit 9. This applies whether you use B Diamond Storm or her regular attack, Rock Tomb. And what this does is that it raises your attack stat +2 and raises your critical hit rate +1. So by using attacks, by using 3 attacks, either Rock Tomb or Diamond Storm, you can maximize your attack stat, you can maximize your critical hit rate immediately. And if you decide to use a B Diamond Storm instead of Rock Tomb, you get to raise everyone's defenses to +6, raise her own attack stat +6, raise her own critical hit rate +3, and now that her defense stat is raised, you can use the Curtain Rises, her trainer move, similar to Summer Marnie. What this does is that the higher defense stat is raised, it also raises your special defense by the same amount. So I think Summer Marnie's trainer move is called Not Today. Perfect trainer move to use for data mining. Not today, not today. Today's not the data mine. Kek. So this is called the Curtain Rises. It raises your special defense by as much as how your defense is raised. To maximize this, either use a support to maximize your defense, or just use B Diamond Storm 3 times. Then, aside from this, it also reduces your sync move countdown -1. But the best time to use this is actually after you use your sync move at least once for Sygna with Diantha. By using your sync move, you get to Mega Evolve into Mega Diancie, and your attack stat gets raised, your defense stat gets raised. And now that you have Mega Evolve, once you use the Curtain Rises, you also reduce your sync move countdown by an additional 1. That means you reduce your sync move countdown -2 instead of -1. Also, it gives you a physical moves up next effect, 2 stat ranks. So this, basically, every stack rank of physical moves up next effect raises your attack damage by 40%. 2 stat ranks, meaning 80% stronger damage for her normal attacks, Rock Tomb or B Diamond Storm. I suggest you use B Diamond Storm immediately after using the Curtain Rises, as it hits everyone strong damage. Also, I did not say this, but you also get a regen effect after using the Curtain Rises. So use this well, use this smartly, and she will become quite unkillable because of how tanky she is. And yeah, that's basically it. At the start of the battle as well, because of her passive skill, Tripwire 2, you get to lower the opponent's speed stat -2. And Tripwire 2 activates again after you Mega Evolve. So after you use your sync move for the very first time, you activate Tripwire 2 again, reducing the opponent's speed stat -2 again, meaning your opponent's speed stat will be -4 after you Mega Evolve using Sygna with Diancie, which is good because later on you'll discover that she has Cakewalk, a multiplier that has to deal with the opponent's speed debuffs. Another passive skill she has is called Team Unbending, which basically gives unbending to all your teammates, which means your defense for everyone cannot be lowered, which is awesome because she can maximize everyone's defensive stats just by using B Diamond Storm 3 times. And remember, you can infinitely use B Diamond Storm as long as Rock Wish is active. So similar to Thunderbolt Red, just set up Rock Wish, Rock Zone, and you can unlimited number of times use B Diamond Storm. So what's the difference between her and Thunderbolt Red? Thunderbolt Red, Electric Terrain. As you might know, Electric Terrain is very common. A lot of sync pairs can do this. Even classic Alessa with her with her max move can set up Electric Terrain. Volkner can set up Electric Terrain. New Year Volkner can set up Electric Terrain. So many sync pairs can set up Electric Terrain. Sygna Diantha, the first sync pair to set up Rock Zone. Number 2, Thunderbolt Red. If the opponent is paralyzed, you get to lower their defense and special defense. And if you have that tile in his grid activated, you can also lower the opponent's speed stat. For Diantha, you do not need to paralyze the opponent. So every single time you use B Diamond Storm, unless the opponent has Impervious or Unbending, their defense stat will go down every single time you use B Diamond Storm. So that's a plus for Diantha. What is lacking for Diantha compared to Red is that Thunderbolt Red built into his kit, if there is a Electric Terrain, you get to recover HP every single time you attack. And this one for Diantha, it's inside her sync grid, which is a waste because it could have been built in. Number 2, Thunderbolt Red immediately extends Electric Terrain. Sygna Diantha gets that Rock Zone extension at 5 out of 5, which we will discuss later. So that's the little difference between Thunderbolt Red and Diantha. So just keep that in mind, just in case you're wondering who is what and so on and so forth. Anyway, let's move on to her sync grid. 1 out of 5, you get Flameproof, cannot be burned, Sand Shelter, cannot be damaged when there's a Sandstorm. Why do you want Sandstorm? Because you got some benefits when there's Sandstorm. Sands of Time speeds up the move gauge when there's a Sandstorm. Soothing Sand recovers HP when there is a Sandstorm. So, if you want to Sandstorm setter, help her out. 2 out of 5, you also get Lithic Healing. If there's a Rock Zone, you get to recover HP. So, that means you can recover HP 3 ways by using Sygna Diantha. One is Lithic Healing, Rock Zone, recover HP. Soothing Sand, recover HP when there is Sandstorm. Number 3, use her trainer move, The Curtain Rises, gives you a regen effect. Sandstorm, Rock Zone, regen effect, 3 ways of recovering. Plus, remember, her defense stat can be +6 quite easily. Her special defense stat can be +6 immediately, making her pretty tanky, guys. Pretty tanky. Got Quick Cure. You got the Rock Zone status immunity. If there's a Rock Zone, cannot be inflicted with status conditions. Sands of Time speeds up the move gauge. I said that. Curtain Rises Catalytic Kick 9 basically charges or speeds up the move gauge whenever there is, whenever you use a trainer move. And then there's an MP refresh for the Curtain Rises. Maybe you want this for the sync move countdown. Maybe for the physical moves up next effect. Maybe for the regen. Could be anything. Then Tripwire 1. What this does is that it adds up to the passive skill Tripwire 2. Which means, at the start of the battle, you get to lower the opponent's speed stat -3. And remember, I said earlier that once you Mega Evolve, Tripwire activates again. So Tripwire 3 plus Tripwire 3 equals opponent's speed stat -6. And why do you want that? Because at 3 out of 5, you get Cakewalk. The lower the opponent's speed stat is, the stronger your sync move is. So if you're able to minimize the opponent's speed stat, well, Cakewalk, maximum multipliers. But what if you do not want Tripwire 1, guys? Well, you can either use Rock Tomb. Again, Rock Tomb can lower the opponent's speed stat. And if you want to make this a little bit faster, you can go for Rock Tomb, Trip twice 9, which I think the first time I saw Trip twice was with Raihan's expanded 5 out of 5 grid or 4 out of 5 grid. So it lowers the opponent's speed stat -2 plus an innate -1 when you use Rock Tomb. So once you use Rock Tomb, the opponent's speed stat will be -3 every single time. I think this is overkill. You do not need this. But if you want to, you can by going for Rock Tomb, Trip twice 9. Lithic Acceleration speeds up the move gauge when there's Rock Zone. Rock Wish MP Refresh 2 is at 3 out of 5. Sand Fortress stats cannot be lowered when there's a Sandstorm. This is, yeah. Status immunity for Rock Zone and Sand Fortress. So, one is for status conditions, one is for stats. Scholar Sync 5 is a new multiplier. The higher your special defense is, or rather, just by raising your special defense stat, your sync move will be 50% more powerful. How do you raise your special defense? By using the Curtain Rises if your defense stat is raised. Sync Damage Guard next effect when you use your sync move for the very first time. Tough Cookie, the higher defense is, the stronger your Rock Tomb / B Diamond Storm is gonna be. And 2 sync move tiles. That's Sygna with Diantha with 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5. All the multipliers are at 3 out of 5 as you can see over here. The red ones signify sync move multipliers. The blue one signifies attack move multiplier. But again, as I said earlier, Pokefairs now have 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 grids. So how good are the 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 grids? Well, 4 out of 5, you got Rock Wish Initial Propulsion 1. First time you use Rock Wish, you got a sync move countdown -1. I guess this is helpful in some situations, not all situations. You can totally skip this one. Team Sharp entry is interesting because, as I said, these types of grid tiles activate twice after you Mega Evolve. So at the start of the battle, you get to raise everyone's critical hit rate +1. After you Mega Evolve, you get to raise critical hit rate +1 again for everyone. Sygna with Diantha does not need this, but if you have other sync pairs that cannot raise their critical hit rate, this might be helpful. And if you are attempting a challenge of, like, in Battle Villa, this is very helpful for me because I like to not use any trainer moves in Battle Villa. So if you decide to use this, you know, you can raise your critical hit rate +2 for everyone without using any trainer move. 5 out of 5, here you go, guys. You got the Rock Zone Extension 3. Extends the time Rock Zone is active. This is built into Thunderbolt Red's kit. This is not built in for Sygna with Diantha. You have to get this, and this is only available after you get 5 copies of her. Meanwhile, Soften Up 1. Gotta explain this a lot of times because a lot of people feel that Soften Up 1 is worthless. So, you know, you get to the maximum critical hit rate is +3. But if you use a sync move, it basically lowers your critical hit rate -1 without you realizing it. So technically your critical hit rate is +2. And +2 critical hit rate is an 80% chance of landing a critical hit with a sync move. And if you have any shields active like physical damage reduction, special damage reduction, particularly for her physical damage reduction, if you are not able to land a critical hit, not only if you have a passive skill or lucky skill critical strike 2, not only will that not activate, but your sync move, your attacks are gonna be cut by half. And in Champion Stadium, that cut by half thing might be detrimental. So by getting Soften Up 1, you basically guarantee that as long as you raise your critical hit rate, you are able to hit the opponent with a critical hit. And that will help you in the battle. So this is good. But locking this at 5 out of 5 is, I don't know if that's really helpful or not, because as you might know, in 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, DNA does not exactly give us enough energy tiles, grid energy to get these. So later on, we will see if we're able to, you know what, let's just talk about that right now. Let's just look at the kit. So, 5 out of 5, or rather, let's go 3 out of 5 first. You want the multipliers. That's my thing always. Go for cakewalk. Probably go for tripwire. Might be helpful. Let's go for this one. Can we go for tough cookie? Or maybe we can remove this. Go for this. We got scholar sync over here. We got sync move, power plus 25. Okay. So far, we're able to get cakewalk. We're able to get scholar sync. We're able to raise... Whoops. My mistake. We have to... You know what? Maybe I can remove tripwire 1. Maybe go for this. And maybe go for... I'm missing a couple of tiles. How about let's get tripwire. Let's remove this. And... go for another tile. Probably... an HP plus 10, this one. Okay. That's our 3 out of 5 grid. We got tripwire 1 to lower the opponent's speed stat to -6 after we use a sync move. We got cakewalk. The lower the opponent's speed stat is, the stronger the sync move damage. We got scholar sync. The higher our special defense. Once we raise our special defense, we get to deal 50% stronger sync move damage. That's 3 out of 5. And you can work this another way by getting tough cookie instead. You know, multipliers for the attack move. So probably we can go for something like this. We can go for, you know what, sync move multipliers are always good. So, go for this. Probably power up our B Diamond Storm. Probably a trainer move MP refresh. Could be anything, guys. So, for example, something like this. So, you got the multiplier over there. Let's reset this. Now, 4 out of 5. You got Team Sharp entry, and I think that's the best thing about her. What else? You got Rock Wish Initial Propulsion 1. Do I want that? Maybe not. I got Quick Cure. I got this. I got this. I got Cakewalk. I got this. I got this. I got this. I got Rock Wish Initial Propulsion. Not enough energy immediately. How about I remove Lithic Healing, go for B Diamond Storm, go for Tough Cookie. Okay, that's actually much better. 4 out of 5. We can get the attack move multiplier Tough Cookie. We can get Cakewalk. We can get a Team Sharp entry 1. We can get Scholar Sync and power up the Sync move. 4 out of 5. Okay. Not bad. How about the last one? 5 out of 5. We got a Rock Zone extension. I mean, we want that. So let's try and get the Rock Zone extension. Can we get Soften Up 1? And now that we got that, we cannot get Cakewalk. We cannot get Scholar Sync, which really sucks. How about we remove this, go for this instead? Okay, we got Scholar Sync, we got Cakewalk, we got Soften Up, we got the Rock Zone extension this way, guys. So, yeah. To get the Rock Zone extension, we have to get it this way. But we got Lithic Healing, so every single time we attack the opponent in Rock Zone, we get to recover HP, and we can extend the Rock Zone a little bit. So I guess this is good. This is not the worst 5 out of 5 tiles available. So, no comment, but that's that, guys. 5 out of 5. We have to request for more energy in terms of 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5. Alright, moving on. Back to the timeline. Again, refresher. Dawn and LISIA ends on January 17. And one more thing. If you're watching this as a premiere, then today is the last day you can get Champion Callum and Champion Serena. So good luck because they will be gone tomorrow if you haven't scouted for them and if you're watching this as a premiere once it comes out. January 12 is the release day, that's Thursday, Asia time. And ends on March 5, you have roughly 2 months to scout for Sygna with Diantha. And again, Shauna comes out on my birthday. Give me presents, everyone. Ends on February 5. Alright, moving on. Stats. Sygna with Diantha has the highest attack stat out of everyone. Average HP. Defense, okay. Special defense, average. Speed, average. But B-Diamond Storm is a 2-move gauge attack. 2-move gauge! AOE, guys. Stats or multipliers wise, you got these multipliers. Sygna with Diantha. Physical moves up next effect stack. 2 stacks. You can do this by using her trainer move after you Mega Evolve. Tough Cookie has a 3 out of 5. As we demonstrated, you cannot always get Tough Cookie, but you can always get Tough Cookie if you want to go for this one. I prefer Rock Zone, or I prefer the Sync multipliers because, you know, you can just spam B-Diamond Storm all the time. It's only 2 move gauges, so no problem with that. Cakewalk, the lower the opponent's speed stat is the stronger the damage. Scholar Sync, raise your special defense 50% stronger. Rock Zone built in. That's that. Easy to trigger multipliers. Cakewalk automatically triggers once at the start of the battle because you get to lower your opponent's speed stat. After you Mega Evolve, you get to lower the opponent's speed stat again. Scholar Sync, just use your trainer move after you use B-Diamond Storm 2-3 times. 3 times probably the best one. And then just set up Rock Zone, easy to trigger multipliers. Now, I decide to compare her with the Rock Techs. And we do not exactly have a lot of Rock Tech sync pairs that can be 6-star EX. In fact, she's the second one. The very first one that can be 6-star EX is actually Gordy. Gordy just came out pretty recently. She's the second one. And the third one is Kukui, who's gonna come out with a 6-star EX on Pokemon Masters Day. That's January 25. So at the moment, he cannot be 6-star EX yet, but we are going to assume that in this computation, he can already be 6-star EX. So thank you, Jack. Thank you, STDK12, for the tools. As you might know, there are only 3 of them. I decide to pair or add AOE rock type attackers into the list, except Sygna with Brock. I decide not to put Sygna with Brock here because, well, he can be 6-star EX, but I think the others deserve this spot more. So these sync pairs, I decide to put Cosplay Hilda with Diamond Storm, the regular Diamond Storm. Emmet with Rock Slide. Gordy, Tech sync pair. Kukui, Tech sync pair. Sygna with Diantha, AOE. So, Emmet, the problem with Emmet is that you probably want free move next. The best pair with Emmet is actually Ingo, because Ingo can give him free move next. And Emmet, the problem is you have all his attacks are 4 move gauge. And it means that he is gonna suffer quite badly in terms of move gauge management. But he has a lot of innate multipliers built in. Healthy Strength 5. If you have more than 50% HP, your attack stat gets increased by 50%. Hit the Gas 5 basically increases the move gauge requirement. Sand Superiority 3 if it is Sandstorming, stronger attacks. Stone Edge Critical Strike 2, Healthy Power Up. If you have full HP, stronger. Healthy Strength 5 again, more than 50% HP or 50% HP and higher. Stronger physical attack. Stat, Sand Blaster, Sandstorm, stronger damage. Gordy is again the first tech move or tech 6-star EXable sync pair. You got a built-in Cakewalk. The lower the opponent's speed stat is, the stronger the damage. Another Cakewalk. Inertia, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger the damage. And Scorching Sync 3, the opponent has to be burned, stronger damage. Meanwhile, Cosplay Heal, the double down 5 if the opponent is weak to rock type, stronger damage. You got a super effective up next, which is similar to double down 5. The opponent has to be weak to rock type. Towering Force, the higher defense stat is, the stronger the damage. Meanwhile, Kukui with Cakewalk, the lower the opponent's speed stat is, Sandblaster 5, it has to be Sandstorming. Diantha, a little bit easier to trigger, I guess. Cakewalk can be triggered automatically. Rock Zone, you just have to set it up. And then Scholar Sync 5, just use your trainer move after your sync, after you have raised your defense stat. As for the multipliers over here with the attacks, Tough Cookie can be triggered pretty much automatically for the Diantha, and it's a lot easier to trigger than most of the other multipliers over here. I'm not gonna discuss each one, but I'm going to compare the damage right now. So thank you, Jack, for this one. One thing is that we are considering that everyone has all grid tiles active. Number 2, everyone has Rock Zone. So everyone will be relying on Sygna with Diantha for these numbers. If there is no Rock Zone, expect the numbers to go down a lot. So these are the numbers. Sygna with Diantha has 3773668 attack move thing. Again, everyone has Rock Zone. Emmet, highest, but 4 move gauge. Diantha, 2 move gauges only. Cosplay Hilda, 3 move gauges for Diamond Storm. Kukui, lots of attack move multipliers as you can see over here, but pretty much relies on Sandstorm a lot. Gordy, the least amount of the least damage, but we are assuming that this is for Rock Tomb and not his max move. He has a max move, you can only use this once, so I did not include that in the list. In terms of sync move multipliers, Gordy has the highest sync move multiplier, followed by, or sync nuke damage, followed by Sygna with Diantha, followed by Kukui, who we can definitely see the power creep, guys. This is 6-star EX Kukui with the times 1.5 damage already. 11,859,007. Compare Kukui with Gordy, it's so far. My goodness, it's so far. Compare Kukui with Diantha. Diantha is like twice as strong as Kukui. Do I want a 6-star EX Kukui after this? Well, Kukui's sync move can destroy shields. So there is a good thing. I mean, I find it weird that they did not power up Kukui. Because they powered up Fantina, they powered up the other, 5 stars that can be 6 stars eventually. But they did not power up Kukui. So maybe they'll power up Kukui afterward? I don't know. But hopefully they power up Kukui so that his damage will be much higher than that. Emmet and Hilda are strikers. So once you sync with them, they hit everyone. Meanwhile, Diantha, Gordy, and Kukui are texting pairs, meaning you only hit one opponent when you use a sync move. So, in terms of attack damage, if we sort this out and add the attack damage sync pairs that are strong with the attack damage, this is what it looks like. Emmet is number 1 with the strongest attack multipliers, attack move damage. Number 2 is Classic Blue. Not sure if this is Hyper Beam or the attack with recoil, I forgot, but then he has recoil removal. I think this is, I forgot what the attack is. Number 3 is Cosplay Hilda. Number 4 is Sygna with Diantha. And number 5 is Raihan with Rock Slide. Raihan is Steel type sync pair, so we are not considering the sync move damage. Emmet, on the other hand, has the lowest nuke out of the bunch. with Classic Blue coming in second. Third is Cosplay Hilda. And fourth is Sygna Diantha. So, in terms of strongest sync move multipliers, this is what it looks like. Gordy is the highest. But then again, one of the lowest attack move multipliers, or one of the least attack damage, followed by Diantha, followed by Kukui, followed by Olivia, who is a striker, mind you, strong nuke damage, and then followed by Grant, who cannot be 6-star EX yet. Interesting, because if he can be 6-star EX, he's definitely gonna be stronger than Kukui. Wow. So, interesting. So, that's actually it. Those are the slides that I have for you. So, why Sygna Diantha? Number 1, Rock Zone. Rock Zone. If Gordy does not have Rock Zone, Sygna Diantha will be more powerful in terms of nuke damage than Gordy. And Gordy requires a lot of setup in order to get those numbers. You need to burn the opponent, you need to blah blah blah, you need to blah blah blah. Sygna Diantha really easy. Plus, it's a balance between the attack damage as well as the sync move damage. Number 2, Pokefair. Now, Pokefairs are much more valuable than Spotlight Scouts. All these other sync pairs are Spotlights. Diantha is a Pokefair. So, if you're collecting the sync pairs, then Sygna Diantha definitely is a nice choice for you. Number 3, I don't know, it's the second alt of Diantha. That means third outfit. Original Diantha, followed by Cosplay Diantha, which is also very good. Followed by Sygna Diantha, which is totally not bad at all. Number 4, it's a shiny Pokemon. It's a shiny Diancie, not a normal Diancie. So, a nice thing. Plus, her 6-star EX is very pink. It's like a grown-up Disney princess thing. As well as some other reasons that I don't know. Tell me in the comment section why you want to scout for Sygna Diantha, because I'm curious. The original Diantha, by the way, originally suffers a lot from the move gauge management. But now, it has Recharging Strike 9. 4 copies of original Diantha gives you Recharging Strike 9, which is a game changer. My goodness. Hit the opponent using Dazzling Gleam. You get to recover 3 move gauges if there are 3 opponents. Plus, now that you use Dazzling Gleam, you get to lower opponent's special attack stat -1, which is very helpful for her move gauge or for her multiplier. I think, was it Devastation or something? She's also a striker, the original Diantha, meaning it's very helpful. So, that's why Diantha is now becoming better. Much better than before. So, in terms of, well, who to scout for? You know, we have 4 sync pairs. And I don't think I have that slide because I think my next slide is gonna be this one. Choose your faves instead of the meta. Because, you know, the meta always changes. And the meta will most likely change again once we hit the 3.5 year anniversary, guys. So, choose your faves, but in the meantime, let me just very quickly pass through this. Check out my how many gems can we get. I don't think I have that slide. Let me very quickly go back here. Alright, let's discuss each one. A lot of people look down on New Year Dawn. We have seen how strong New Year Dawn is. It's like nobody expected New Year Dawn to be as strong as what she is capable of. But in terms of sorting everything out, Sygna Diantha is still my number 1. New Year Dawn can now be compared to New Year or Sygna Corinna in terms of damage, in terms of, in terms of utility. But for me, Sygna Diantha is still much better than New Year Dawn. And then LISIA is also quite nice. No, first fairy type physical striker, because we have a fairy type physical striker in terms of Summer Lyra, but then her sync move is a special attack. So if you want a physical AoE striker in terms of the sync move, New Year LISIA is it. It is. But in my order, same thing. Same as how I rank them. Sygna Diantha is my first. Depending on who you need, it's either New Year Dawn or New Year LISIA. Take note that New Year Dawn requires other sync pairs to buff her up. So she has the same problem as the Lances. Lance requires other sync pairs to help him power up. New Year Dawn requires other sync pairs to buff her up. But once you buff her up, she becomes really good. New Year LISIA can buff her up pretty nicely. So my number 2 is depending on who you need. But definitely she is not the worst sync pair of this update. She is very good. Shauna is my last one because of how she's just a spotlight scout. And eventually you can get spotlights just by, scouting for them. Probably, February 5. That means by the anniversary on February 28, 29? Is this year a leap year? 28 or 27. We'll get an anniversary banner, and Shauna should be there in that, scoutable banner thing. But anyway, guys, that is it for my video. I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up again, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. As well as leave a comment. Tell me if you are scouting for Sygna Diantha or not, because I'm scouting. A lot of people are scouting for Rock Zone. Good luck if you're scouting for her. And with that, I would like to end by giving a shout out as well again to my members who have been supporting me. Thank you all so much for your support. In fact, I received a gift from some of you. It's actually my very first gift which I received from you guys physically to my address. I was not expecting that. Like sus swimming pool. I received a portable swimming bathtub from you guys. What the heck, guys? But anyway, appreciate that. Thank you for the advanced birthday gift. Again, thank you Shadowphil Alcin for supporting me for 2 years. Thank you Roy, Luca, Jeremy, Sassari, Marcella, Arima for 1 year. Thank you Marokman for Ultra Balls. Thank you Agent 10 and Shido Vods for Premier Ball tier. Thank you Iwis, Tatsuya, Goldapsaras, and Kundan for Pokeball. And thank you to my sus mods for being sus. And everything else. That's it. That's it for this video. This is Sol, also known as SPL-Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, the artist Team Skull Grunt. Good luck on your scouts. I will see you in the next video. Rawr!